Greetings, Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This is your Western forecast for December 2024. I always like to start with the new moon, which is on December the 1st. The new moon to new moon is 4 weeks. So all of December, starting December the 1st, making it nice and clean and easy, the full moon is putting a major emphasis for you on increasing your income, on money matters, maybe financial negotiations and transactions. Because the new moon in Sag is one sign past Scorpio. And the second sector in astrology deals with personal income. But this new moon is in a square or an inhibiting aspect to Saturn. And Saturn can delay, can frustrate, can block. Certainly, you could be really focused on money matters because of the new moon in the second house. But with the Saturn, it's going too slow, or you're really worried that it's not enough. Along with that is decision-making Mercury is going to also be in Sagittarius in your second house of income. Now, I talked about this last month. Mercury went into Sagittarius, into your second house of income, like November the 2nd. And it retrogrades November the 25th through December the 15th, at which point it starts moving forwards where you have more clarity, you're a little bit more confident, more decisive, remaining in Sagittarius in your second house of income till January the 8th. But with the first couple of weeks of December, with Mercury retrograding, and then the new moon in the second house of income being restricted by Saturn, many of you, there could be a financial break or being really worried that it's not enough money, probably because of the retrograde and the Saturn. More times than not, it could be monies you are expecting is less, or it's being delayed. Now, Mars is going to be retrograding, as it does every 2 years, in your 10th house of career matters. So there's going to be a lot of focus on career and money and finance. But first, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Now, Mars is that warrior, ambitious, initiates action. Now, I talked about this in last month's video because Mars went into Leo. Leo is 10 signs past Scorpio. So all that fire and confidence and bravado of just Mars was impacting once every 2 years your 10th house of career matters, life purpose, your professional status and reputation. But then the Mars is going retrograde December the 6th till February the 23rd. But it's only going to remain in Leo retrograde till January the 6th as it retrogrades back into Cancer, which I will talk about in January's forecast. But to keep the focus for December, that Mars, a lot of you might have been taking a lot of risks, taking the lead, initiating a lot of new projects with Mars going forwards in your career sector. But now that so as we go in December, decision-making Mercury is already retrograde. The Mars is slowing down and getting more sluggish, and now it's retrograde December the 6th, but only remaining in the 10th house till January the 6th. So Mars when it's retrograde, could just be feeling that it's taking so much more effort to get the same results. You could be feeling more contracted, more frustrated with achieving your career goals. Now, the Mars is retrograde to February the 23rd, but December, it's in the 10th house of careers, retrograde, with Mercury retrograde in the 2nd house of income. Now, Mercury does go direct December the 15th, but I'm sure you've heard from other astrologers that after Mercury goes direct and you're having more focus and more clarity, you reset and reevaluate your past actions and where you want to go next. But Mercury is going very slow because it's slowed down, it's stopped December the 15th, slowly turning forwards, but it's going very slow. It takes about 2 weeks to catch up to its regular speed. So think of your decision-making faculties is still sluggish and going slow, or you don't have all the real confidence yet. Plus, as the Mercury is picking up speed, but still sluggish the last 2 weeks of December, Mars is retrograde. So the Mercury is going to be bringing a lot of worries and anxiousness with money matters through all of December. The new moon squaring Saturn, there could be these delays, you're really worried about it. And now here's Mars, ambitious Mars is retrograding in your 10th house of careers. Now, the 10th house can also be authority figures, your bosses, your parents. And with Mars retrograde, there might be some more tensions and frustrations. And having Mercury and Mars in retrograde, it's going to be really strong the first 2 weeks, but it's pretty strong for the last 2 weeks because Mars is still retrograde to the end of February. So there's going to be, you're going to notice a lot. It doesn't have to necessarily impact you, but you're certainly going to see with your friends and family or on the nightly news, there's a lot of protesting, saber rattling. There's just going to be, Mercury is the mind, it's nervousness. Mars is all this impatientness and irritability. So there's a lot of anxious energies in the world. And Scorpio rising, you're going to be really concerned about your cash flow. It's all going to work out because Jupiter, the planet of luck and prosperity and growth, it's in Gemini from the last couple of days of May 2024 into the beginning of June 2025. Jupiter goes through all the signs every 12 years. It's now in Gemini for 1 year. And why I say this is all going to be okay when the dust settles is Jupiter is transiting through the 8th house. The 8th house deals with banking, investments, finance, getting grants, getting settlements, getting inheritance. It's a Jupiter in the 8th can bring a lot of financial prosperity. You could get a loan, you could get a grant, you could get a scholarship, you could win the lottery, Jupiter in the 8th. So it's all going to start working out. But let's go to Venus. Venus is a great benefic energy. It's the power of attraction. It's the power of love and creativity. Venus goes into Aquarius once a year, because Venus goes through all the signs for 1 year. December the 6th, the day Mars goes retrograde, Venus goes into Aquarius to the beginning of January, to like January the 2nd. Aquarius is 4 signs past Scorpio. So all this joy and contentment and loving feelings of Venus is spotlighting the 4th house of family. Could also be good for going on a family holiday or entertaining, that's Venus, with family, but just maybe throwing a holiday party at your home for friends and coworkers and neighbors. It could also be with Venus, the planet of beauty, that you're wanting to buy some new furniture, paint the walls, kind of like beautify the home with a Venus in the 4th house. But it brings a lot of harmony with family and could be good for any kind of real estate matters. That's the 4th house. Now back to the new moon, where you're December the 1st. So you're going to be really worried about cash flow. But like I said, after all these retrogrades and you go into the new year, that Jupiter will bring you financial benefits from others, not from outside sources. But 2 weeks after a new moon is a full moon. The full moon brings everything to light, brings clarity, gets to reveal what's working and not working with your financial decisions of December the 1st. But the new moon, or the full moon, December the 15th, you might start feeling it on the 14th. The strongest is the 15th, certainly the 16th, and then it just like moves on. You only start feeling that emotional reactiveness of the full moon for a couple of days. But it's in Gemini. And Gemini, like the Jupiter, is in your 8th house. So there could bring in a lot of worrying about your financial responsibilities. Or now, the full moon is not being impacted by Jupiter because there's 30 degrees in a sign, and the Jupiter is pretty far from the full moon at 23 Gemini. But it's forming a square to Neptune at 27 Pisces. So the full moon in the 8th house squaring Neptune, financial delays, disappointments, your expectations financially with the 8th house, getting a loan, getting a grant, people wanting to help you, what have you, financially. And with the Neptune, it gets all fuzzy and distracted, but it's only lasting a couple of days. So keep that in mind. Now I want to go back to Jupiter. Jupiter overall, growth and prosperity. But Saturn is the opposite of Jupiter. Jupiter expands, Saturn contracts. Jupiter and Saturn at the end of this December, for the world, not just for Scorpios, is going to be forming a square, or this internal conflict between expansion and contraction. What does that mean in layman language? Is at the end of the year, there may be really worrisome economic news, not for your sign, but like if the stock market takes a big, heavy hit at the end of the year, or you're hearing other really difficult economic news, and it peaks December the 24th, and that could go along with Mars in retrograde, and you got Saturn in your 5th house, so there could be these delays and worries. 5th house with money deals with investments. In the 8th house are your financial obligations, and here's Mars retrograde in your 10th house of business affairs. Now, a lot of anxiousness, delays, this too shall pass, got to just get through December. But let's end it on a more pleasurable up note. Venus, planet of love and desire and fun and games. Venus is going into that 4th house of home and family. As I said, you could be beautifying the home, entertaining at home from December the 6th to January the 2nd. But where I want to leave it on a more upbeat, pleasurable energies is Venus is in Aquarius. Mars is in Leo. Aquarius and Leo are signs opposite. And so it's triggering the Venus-Mars, a lot of romantic, intimate desires. But if Mars wasn't retrograde, I would be really talking about people getting all turned on, infatuated, having the time of their lives at parties and entertainment. With the retrograde of Mars, you could get all excited and turned on by somebody new, and then it falls flat, goes from hot to cold, or life circumstances causes you, maybe this hot infatuation has to leave town, and that could be the frustration, especially when you were turned on. It's the holidays, and now your holiday playmate is not around. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.